Hello, and welcome to From the Depths. Um, I've been a little bit occupied recently. I haven't really had time to play From the Depths much, but that isn't to say I haven't been working on stuff on the side. Last time, after the recording, some of the saves got rolled back, so technically I'm not at war with the White Flyers, and technically some of the ships I caught from the Lightning Hoods weren't actually there. But it's given me a lot to review upon. Most notably how the Huangdi is an expensive piece of shit. So I've made some cheaper variants of it on the hull of the Lao class. These ships aren't fundamentally that powerful, they're pretty weak. But I mean, they should be more than enough for the Lightning Hoods. So I'm not too worried. Taking a few cues from the Huangdi in that the pagoda is a little bit more armored. Everything's a little bit more compact. We have flares now, so hopefully missiles won't be too much of an issue, and this ship does have shields mounted on the side. So it's not invincible, but it's good for the price, I'd hope. Aside from the pagoda ships, we have a small fleet of submarines. I've had to kind of outsource a little bit. This submarine, the Mermaider, a friend sent it to me. It's a lot more powerful and expensive than my other submarines, but given how the new submarines, the Heichuan and the Korofune, are kind of have a few teething issues, I'm sure that having a foreign submarine isn't too bad. I've also noticed that I haven't actually been playing around with sampans too much recently. Been mostly focused on the pagoda ships. So we've added a few more sampans to our fleet. Quite a bit more, actually. These are mostly cheap boats. They're not armed with much. Mostly some torpedoes, some rockets. A few have guns, a few have lasers. They're not that durable, and they aren't really seaworthy. But they're cheap. 2,000 resources at the most. So we have about 30 of these. Hopefully these turns out to be a good investment. But we'll see how it turns out. Aside from these sampans, some of the older sampans have been upgraded. We now have 2 fleets of them, a faster fleet and the old unupgraded fleet. They both have roughly the same guns and same torpedoes, so there's not much to be said in that field. But yeah, we're gonna try a few of these out, see how these work. I'm actually pretty excited because I've always liked the idea of throwing cheap ships at bigger ships and seeing how it goes. So today what we're gonna do, we're probably gonna slice into the Lightning Hoods and into the White Flayers mostly. Lightning Hoods are still pretty scary, and the White Flayers are still pretty scary. But I kind of want to focus on the Eastern Fleet instead of the West Fleet right now, because it has all these new toys that we haven't used, and mostly because I want to test out all these different designs and, see how they work. I think what we're going to do is we're going to preemptively strike into the White Flayers. They seem to be the weaker of the two, and should give us a good idea of how our fleet stands up to, weaker craft. So we'll send them in and see how it goes. Oh, one more thing. Recently a fellow said that he'd like to see less capturing ships because we've kind of been going hard at it. And generally I agree. It does kind of take away from some of the how should I say, action, if at the end of the day you can just capture ships and call it, a victory. So I probably will tone that down a lot. I still want to capture ships and retrofit them, mostly because I kind of like the idea of taking enemy ships and throwing it at them again. But I think what we're going to do is we'll only capture ships if they're practically disabled and, you know, aren't really fighting. Basically, they've just been shot to shit and they ain't going nowhere unless, you know, we either sink them or we capture them, one or the other. No more preemptively hopping onto a moving enemy ship and calling it a day. So we're just going to declare war on the White Flayers and get them before they get us. Oh my god. So, some of them are armed with machine guns, others have missiles, some have torpedoes. Basically just a fuck ton of different armaments. But it seems that the number game is leading in our favor. Now, our peasant boats will pretty much detonate in one hit. I'm not sure if that was one of them. But generally they're cheap enough to where you shouldn't really care. 2000 is kind of a throwaway. And look at that, they've already practically sank this fleet. It wasn't much of a fight, but I mean, it goes to show that there's strength in numbers, even if half those numbers are disabled by their own doing. But you know, peasants, what can you expect? They'll try their best. Submarine fleet up's next. Mermaider's really going at it. Holy shit. Okay, yeah, they're really going at it. Compared to the H1, which is our biggest submarine, the Mermaider is actually a true submarine. The H1 functions more as a U-boat in that it's built for traveling on the surface and can only really go underwater when there's enemies around. But we'll see how it works out. Korofune is kind of cheap midget submarine, so not expecting too much from that. But ideally, I want to see how well the H1 works against the White Flayers, since they are supposed to be weak to submarines. And I think that's pretty much it for this White Flare ship. Just got hit by a missile salvo by the Mermaider. Pretty much dead at this point. Yes, it's pretty much dead. This small little ship is probably going to give us the most issues, I think. We can't hit it. We can't detect it. It's just going to fly around our U-boat for ages. Fun thing about this U-boat, when all other enemy ships are destroyed, it'll surface and it'll begin lighting up other ships with its deck guns. Which I think just happened as it hit a nuke and then was forced to dive again. Oh my god! Well, the one ship that my U-boat was fighting against ended up practically crippling it. Now we're fighting the first merchant fleet, I think? Second sampan fleet versus the first merchant fleet. Kind of worried. The sampan design hasn't really upgraded since I messed with it a long time ago. They've only gotten really faster. Oh, these are pretty fast. Oh no. I think these are the suicide ships from last time that fucked up our U-boat. Oh no. They might just absolutely fucking wreck us. Oh! Or explode spontaneously, it appears. So we avoided one of them. One explosion, but I think these ones have found their mark. It is hitting one of the lighter sampans, so that's good. These heavier... Never mind! Oh man. They've just kamikazed into at least 3 of our boats. Our ships are still firing, so that's good. they can only fire at the few craft that are circling around them, that'd be nice, but I guess that's too much to ask. These suicide craft are really fucking up our sampans, I have to say. Yeah, I have to say the sampan fleet really hasn't aged well. If you know they can't really handle this small powered fleet. But I mean, they seem to be doing a good enough job. Sure, half the enemy ships kill themselves, but that's still a good number. The sampans have faster firing guns on them now, comparable to the U-boat, basically a shortened barrel version of those. But I mean, they're still not as accurate. They're still pretty bad at hitting things. It's just they have a high volume of fire and torpedoes. This fighter might take a while to kill. I wonder how it must feel to be this asshole flying through flat clouds as he simultaneously gets hit directly in the face with flak. Well, never mind, he's dead. He's fucking dead. Yeah, well, I want to see how these guys do on their own. No support for this battle. Hopefully it doesn't end out badly. The guns are faster firing than the Huangdis, but they don't necessarily have the penetration. But against aircraft, I suppose these are desirable properties. I think there's some issues with gun accuracy. Which admittedly was also a problem on the Huangdi. Oh! And as I say that, one of the White Flare planes got downed. So, well, what do I know? They're doing a great job. I'm not sure what this ship is. It's like a little... I hope it's a regular boat that's not a submarine, because it's essentially a submarine right now. So, judging by the detections in Detect View, it does seem that my ships don't actually know where the enemy submarine is. They just can't see underwater. Which is probably a weakness on the Huangdi too, so I might rectify that later. But given how there are 3 ships on my side, and one tiny little submarine with literally no armament on their side, I'm willing to call this as a victory for us. I mean, seriously, what would this thing do even if it did hit us? It only has rams on it, and it would just kind of embed itself in the side of our ship. Oh my god, this is fucking ridiculous. Oh my... What have you done, you piece of shit? What the literal fuck have you done? Look at this. The entire side's been gouged out. Oh, it's coming back for some more, too. You little bitch. Oh my fucking god. I can't believe this. This is literally appalling. Okay, that's fine. Okay, this is fine. I hope it didn't crash. I'd be very disappointed if it did. I didn't save. This is fine. This is absolutely fucking fine. So, fun fact, while I was getting everything back to the way it was because I'm an idiot and doesn't know how to save, I fixed their planes. Turns out the wings created excessive lift after the update, but fortunately the ailerons create roughly the same amount of lift as the old wings, so I've switched all the wing pieces to ailerons. It makes the plane roll a little bit excessively, and it likes to behave a little bit erratically sometimes, but I mean, no big deal. At least they work now, so that's good. So we're going to try this again. Xiaohao fleet's going to go in. I'm going to send in air support this time to hopefully make sure we don't have a repeat of last time.
Now. Listening.
So we don't get to fight our old friend, Mr. Submarine. Instead we have the slowly moving buzzsaw with shields that my Xiaohao ships can't actually penetrate. Seems the Xiaohao fleet's really good at anti-air duties, which is good. It's a lot better than the Huangdi, at least. I don't think any of these ships have armor-piercing shells, do they? Well, doesn't matter. We've won anyway. It's just a nick. So, good second time around, I guess. Let's move the peasant fleet up north. They're going to engage with this small fleet up here. Grab this resource zone, and we'll pivot back to the south later. So, peasant fleet's engaging again. Another small White Flare fleet, but I was gonna say, it seems like my ships at least know what they're doing, but it seems they don't. They seem to be taking a bit of losses, though. Oh shit! Especially when our sampans are mutinying against their own commanders again. There seems to be some sort of internal strife amongst the peasantry. Oh god. Looks like the Huangdi's got himself into a little fight. Holy shit! The 21st Airborne, with all these ships and planes. Okay, the Huangdi isn't shooting. It's doing a good job at. Oh god, what's this guy doing? Oh. A kamikaze took out one of our turrets, I think. Oh, another one's coming through the smoke. Yeah. Oh god. Oh lordy. Wait, what? Wait, what? We... What? We captured an enemy craft, but I don't know how. I'm on the bridge, and well, it doesn't matter. It immediately died anyway, but I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm surprised we haven't lost our middle turret. So it seems we lost the center turret, and the Huangdi is now flying away. This is fine, I guess. You are not. You fucker. You just decided to 9/11 my Huangdi. Oh, we captured a ship somehow. Again. So, status report on what I can only describe as sheer fuckery. The Huangdi's destroyed several ships who have rammed into it for absolutely no reason. There's a submarine rammed into the side of the hull on the port side. A small flyer that's kinda hovering above one of the turrets. Several bombers are just flying around, occasionally dropping bombs to little to no effect. The turrets don't seem to want to shoot at any of the ships that are currently attacking it, and, yeah. I don't know why we're missing nearly the entire... Wait. Oh. Okay. That's... Hello, you want to land on us too? Oh, okay. We've captured another ship. Somehow. This is fine. Okay, whatever. I'm just done. I'm done. Like, I literally don't know what the fuck's going on. So the Huangdi is all sorts of fucked up right now. There's still a few enemies left who are ridiculously far away for whatever reason. But at the very least we can steam there underneath our own power. here where we were, and there he is, and he's just going away from us, and we'll never catch him because we drive at 10 meters a second, and he goes at 18 meters a second, and he's staring away from us, and we'll never fucking catch him. So all I can do at this point is end the battle, lose my ship, and basically lose because of bullshit again. So admittedly, I'm a little bit upset. Just a little bit bullshit how we're losing a lot of our ships to the enemy just going off into the horizon. Alrighty then. Peasant fleet's in position. Hopefully they don't immediately crash into each other, but it's always a toss-up. Well, they seem to be going at it right away. And they seem to be going at it right away. Losing ships left and right, but that's to be expected. Oh god. Oh! Right. The Perdition. It has a rapid-fire cannon. The peasants are scattering. But it's no use. They have nowhere to go. Missiles are faster. How much damage did the Perdition actually take? Doesn't seem like any of our shots hit, aside from a few stray shells. Torpedoes seem to have missed their mark entirely. Oh. Not as disappointed about this one. I never expect the peasant fleet to do well, but still, it's kind of a little heartbreaking that they did this bad. So this is our new U-boat fleet, our wolf pack of sorts. Hopefully they can live up to the test and not suffer from ramming each other. But I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm a little bit iffy on how these actually work, even though we've seen them before. I mean, our U-boats are pretty good, and even if they don't do good, we have the Mermator on our side, so you know, what can go wrong? So it seems like the Mermator is currently beaching itself ashore. Fair enough. We might have spawned in a little bit of shallow water, but that's no problem. I'm sure we're fine. So what it looks like the Mermator's done, and I'm not sure if this is intentional or not, but it has beached itself, and is now using it as an impromptu artillery platform to lob torpedoes at the White Flare ships. Good job, Mermator. 10 out of 10. Better than my other U-boats, which are currently doing fuck all. Oh, that explains a lot. Whoops. Okay, U-boats, get in there. I forgot to turn your AI on. I'm sorry. So, first test of our U-boat fleet. The Mermator is currently beached. That our U-boats are having a little bit of issues surfacing. But I didn't put them into combat, so that was entirely on me. So before the day's done, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ram both the Schauhau fleet and the Untersee fleet with the second Sampan fleet all into this 150's resource zone. Just to have a nice final combined arms operation. We'll even get the Phoenix Squadron in here, why not? So in hindsight, I might have spawned in way too many things, because everything is chugging really badly. Between the lag, the fog, the rain, and all the confusion, I have literally no idea what's going on with my fleet right now. I'm not sure if we're winning or if we're losing, or what, if we've captured the resource base. Everything's just kind of a mess, so whoops. So this is the big enemy ship, which appears to have shields, but is nonetheless taking torpedo hits and a small nuke pretty badly. Several torpedoes from all my ships are coming in and smashing into this one. Fragments from the Schauhau fleet are coming in, missiles from the Mermator fleet are coming in. Just one giant united fuckfest. The last enemy ship is up here. and it's about to get rightly fucked. Look at this shit right here. Literally dodging every missile that comes after it. Oh, except that one. Not sure if you can see it, but there's just a shit ton of flak coming in from all directions. But it looks like the plane is finally down. After avoiding literal bullet hell. So, that was a little bit disappointing. Recorded over a period of 2 or 3 days. There was a few technical difficulties, but I think overall I'm somewhat impressed with my fleet. Not too sure how I feel about the Remader, who's kind of basically shadow over my U-boat fleet, but I guess it means that we have to spend a little bit of time improving our current ships. Not sure what I want to really do. I kinda have an idea of what I want to do for next episode, which is try to figure out how to do an amphibious invasion. Our earlier attempts weren't so great, but I think now that I know the game better and now that I've improved on some of the mechanics, we can mount a serious invasion. But otherwise, I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to focus on airplanes again, since we figured out what was wrong to begin with. Well, I hope you enjoyed after my hiatus. A little bit sorry about that, but after all these technical issues, I hope you understand why sometimes I just don't want to play. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully we have something in store next time. No idea what, but hey, if you're still here, then I mean, you must have an idea of what you want to see. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.